Alright, so this tree was $24.97 at Walmart. Reason I bought it is because it looks like it needs a rescue, but not only that, it actually has got quite a bit of a trunk movement, and although the leaves are dry, it doesn't look like it's dead. So I think I can rescue it. The soil is very dry, and so I have to either water it and give this cocoa coir mixture water, or get it out of here and into bonsai soil. So I've decided to put it into bonsai mix. This is from Victor, and this mix is basically the Hoffman mix, but it's got fine particles in it, so fine wood particles. So I'm going to use this one to retain more moisture, because the Fukien teas seem to like more moisture than other trees. So I'm going to look for a pot and get this one into a pot and see what's going on with the root ball. I don't know what's going on with the root ball. This pot, the thing is so dried out, it just pulls straight out of the pot. I kind of like the pot. It's a plastic pot, and now I've just got to work out how to get this label off without damaging the pot, because these labels from Costa Farms are stuck on very well, and it's hard to get the adhesive off there without damaging the pot. So I'll figure that one out. It's actually a pretty bad pot for a tree, because the pot is dry, the tree is dry, and yet there's water inside. So the water seeps through, so at least the roots don't stand in water. I guess that's a good part. The roots don't stand in water. There is some humidity that comes up from the bottom. Alright, so first step is to see what I've got going on with this root ball. Roots are root bound. So get some of these roots out of here. It's very, very dry, which is why I wanted to do this before I water it, because once I water it, the cocoa coir becomes like one big soggy mess. So let's get this out of here and see what we're dealing with for the root base. You never know what you're going to get with these plants from the big stores, because they get buried so deep that a whole part of the trunk is actually buried underground. Like in this case, that whole piece at least has been buried underground, buried in the soil. So get rid of this and that. Here's a big root. Right. Wow, it's got a very shallow root base. The root base is really only that thick. It's like what, 2 inches, maybe 3 inches. Very shallow, even though it was in this deep pot. Okay, so I'm just looking for something to cut these roots out a little bit here. Alright, let's pull out a pair of scissors. Okay, let's see what we've got going on here. Okay, so let me cut off the circling root. So I don't know what we're going to get in yet. With these roots that have been circling, you really don't know. It's got some interesting trunk movement right here underneath the surface. Alright, so this one is clearly a big feeder root, and it appears to have quite a bit of roots attached, but they're way at the end, so this one has to go. These roots are a big mess. I actually want to keep this one root here. It's kind of neat. It's part of the tree. It's definitely the main taproot that was here, that's curled around and now going down. So I don't want to cut it back all the way up to there. It's a large part of the tree. It's the same hand, on the same token, it's actually coming up. And it looks actually dead at the end. So let's see if I can take it back to the point where it's not dead. It would be cool if I can keep this long taproot there. It'll help to stabilize the tree. I'm not seeing a way to keep this big taproot intact. That's a good root. What do we have going on here? So here's this long taproot, and like I said, it actually looks like it's a piece of, I don't know, it looks like there's some dieback there. There's a piece that can grow. Alright, got it. Here's a piece of feeder root that can grow. Might be able to take it back to there. Alright, so that's what I'm going to go with. It's kind of a pity this feeder, this big taproot, is growing upwards. I wonder if I can twist it somehow to go underneath. Maybe I can do that when I repot it. Alright, so that's the roots. Now, let's look at the structure. If I pot it level like that, which is what I would love to do, and the structure goes like this. So I think this plastic training pot will work, especially if I were, instead of bringing it straight up, bring it off a little bit to the end maybe. Some of these roots are definitely dead underneath here, so I'm going to, when I put it in, I will poke in the soil quite a bit. Okay, I'll be using 1.5 millimeter wire to wire it in. If I can find the starter this way, there it is. All right, good. Move that pot out the way, and this cocoa soil, I'll see if I need this or anything. At least it doesn't look like there's bugs in it, so I might be able to reuse it for something else. Alright, let's see how would this tree look. The reason I need to know is because I can put wire in. I think wire across the center would be fine. Yeah, I think a piece of wire right across the center would be just great. And so I'll stick a piece of wire through these holes right up the center. Okay. Next I'll take a piece of this mesh. This is mesh that I just get from Amazon. An inexpensive piece of mesh that I get from Amazon. Stick it across the hole. Okay, next up I will put in just a tiny scoop of the coarse bonsai mix. So I'll put in a thin layer of this bonsai mix that I get from Amazon. It's from Leaves and Soul. And this is very coarse, but I use it because I think it helps to have a foundation layer of coarse material. Next I'm going to use the soil from Victor. So I hope there's enough of it. This stuff only comes in small packets because every packet is mixed by hand, and this is from Victor Eng, my local bonsai master. Okay, now I'm looking at this tree to see if there's anything that needs to be chopped off. I don't think so. I think it's probably going to lose all its leaves in a few days, but I'm not going to take anything off now. These roots are extremely dry, so we just hope that the tree makes it. I so wish I could just cut this root off right here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this taproot off right here and hope that it doesn't kill the tree. Alright, let's work this little guy in here, see if we can get him settled in. Right, that's way too deep. I don't want it that deep, so more soil. Alright, that seems about right. So it could be even higher. When I'm working the tree in, it actually sinks in a lot, and I don't want it that deep. I actually want most of the root exposed. I guess that's what we'll go with. that will hold the tree in place, but I do wish it was higher up. I'll just add more soil and see if we can get it higher up. Alright, so that is now in. Let me see if I can poke these roots in a little bit, get more soil worked in underneath. So what's happening is this tree is not stable. No matter how I try and put the wire in or hold it in, it's not stable. So and it seems the more I work on it, the worse it gets. What's supposed to happen is as you tighten the wire, it's supposed to become more and more tight, but this tree is not. The soil underneath it is just giving way. The more you tighten it, the soil's giving way. Okay, well, that's the tree in place. So it's kind of a challenge because I can't seem to get it tied in anyway. And it's still loose. Look at that. Still loose. Right, well, that was a frustrating experience. Right. So that was a frustrating experience. It does seem better than it was. It's still loose though. There's not much else I can do. Okay, well now if all goes well, this tree can hang out in this pot for a few years. So I don't know why every time I try and poke it in, all the roots end up coming up. Let me push them in and put some more soil on that, and then I will label it and water it, and that's this Fukien Tea.